Hello everyone. Let's start to play some chess games. A4 this time. We can play Vienna Gambit. I think my old followers will see this Gambit many times and you can use this, why not? Not simple, I will say aggressive Gambit, but if you learn that, probably you can't trick from it. Because there is just something that you need to know. If he takes, just d4 will be friend. After pawn push, that's not easy to play. I could also try to go d4 or d3 doesn't mean so much. But queen h4 check, and how could I protect if he takes? Because g3 would be from his protection on there. Okay, let's pressure this a5 pawn, and probably he cannot take. So d4, so that should be unprotected, and even the pawn should be hanged there. That should be a really good position from me, and that's a little bit hard when you are playing as black position like this. Anyway, let's continue. Well, we have Queen's Gambit. We d5, okay. And d5 should be under attack if it takes the knight after queen takes. That's why we got this trade. And probably bishop b4 won't be a mistake, but anyway. Well, now we can take because we are forcing his bishop to do 2 moves, not only one. Well, where can we go? Bishop b7, I like that move because... okay, let's go h6. What is he playing? If I take, he's sacrificing his bishop completely. After this, is there any problem or not? Because if I bring my knight, for example, d5, d7 doesn't matter. Check and some other check, that should be at least draw from him. So let's not take, but how we can force that trade? I would like to go knight d5. Just at the time, can I take or not? That's still not sure from me. Yes, knight d5 can be moved and I can play. And queenside castle, I'm happy to see this because the center is open, and also this c file, I'm gonna try to open this. I'm very happy to see he traded. Let's take with a bishop because if the diagonal will be open, just b2 should be very weak, also the knight should be hang. Let's see. If I take, why he giving this pawn to me? Because that's defended from the bishop. Okay, because he has check and then take the bishop back. That's why I don't need to take yet. Let's attack on the bishop, and if he goes back, the rook should be defended. This open check won't work at the time. But anyway, he's protecting his position. What if I kick the knight? Because if he checks somehow, just that should be guarded. And also I'm attacking on his bishop. No problem. My bishop is also protected. If I wish white, I would take that. Because that's forcing my knight to go back, and he would have enough time to bring another pieces, probably double the rook and so on. What should I play? Probably b4, b3. b4, just that seems I can blunder this pawn, but really I can't do that. Because rook c8 and because for pin he would lose the queen. Void Lovodo. Yes, find me on chess.com and we will play. No, I am Bobby Fischer. Yes, Void Lovodo. I will wait for you, send me challenge. And I'm waiting if he takes, just rook c8, if not, okay, he saw that. I would like to go b3, but he's gonna take with the knight. Not a problem, just rook c8 can be worked anyway. We need to open this c file. No, I didn't forget you. Yes, I know, don't worry, Thunder21 about that. If he takes, I'm gonna rook c8, that's why he don't need to take, but if he even doesn't, just from a1 I can make a queen. You know? How can he defend? Thank you, bro, appreciate that. How much is your rating? If he takes with a queen, this pin won't work. How long have you been playing chess? I am playing chess 8 years. Now I am 19 years old. Since 11. Why do you keep on forgetting me? No, I didn't forget you. I am not forgetting my followers. I could also go queen g6, and because these white squares would be defended, he could run from there, but I believe he can just block that way. At the time, I don't know, that should be possible for him some other way. 25. Yes, very much people think like that, even from my looking, they are thinking that I'm not 19. I have subscribed you, bro. Thank you for that, appreciate that. Well, now this C file is open. What if we bring the other rook, because that's the least active piece, all that pieces are doing a great job. So that's under attack. The knight is pinned because if it moves from b2 I would bring huge attack. And still he can't defend this b2. Probably b3 will be only move that he will defend somehow, but that's a fork. Because from here that should be defended from the knight. My highest elo only 800. Not bad. You are up 80% from allchess.com players. That's nearly. Not bad, just keep improving. Okay, let's take. You have any tips? You need to learn endgames, because I believe that's all you need, and because for that you need to improve your calculation and memorization to understand what you're gonna play. And you need to play also some rapid or even classic games that really helping you to improve your chess. I can't say about Blitz or Bullet, but for that, you know, calculation is the best. You can improve that from end games. Well, I can pin and take this pawn on d3, sorry, b3. I can do that. How many times do you play in a day? I think 2 or 3 hours. That's pinned, that means this b3 is hang. I'm gonna take this. So knight takes, lose a queen, queen takes, lose a queen or not? Wait a minute. Okay, he won't lose a queen like that. Let's pressure the knight. His queen is hang. Okay, he's taking, not a problem. Also, I'm happy to see I have +2 in every move. Let's take to not blunder anything somehow, or we did? Okay, I didn't saw that coming. I needed to play king h8. Very bad. Just you saw, just one move. I thought I need to take that pawn on h7. Okay, let's play Vienna Gambit here. We can take d4 and so on. No, I'm Armenian. I even don't know Russian. We can castle and open this rook file, because f7 should be a little bit you know, how can we say, hanging under attack. Okay, bishop f4 is coming. Somehow he can defend. g5 is the only move that's defending, but he has to bring very much pieces on there and long castle. Because short castle, you know, that's probably won't work. When I join, you have only 5 view. Did you comment it in the past or not? I'm trying to remember you. I'm from Armenia. How can we take this? Probably with the knight. If he takes, that should be same thing. Just the difference that d4 is hang. If he takes, f7 is hang, very much hang. IG account, what is that? Let's take. His knight is under attack, so he can take the queen first. How he's doing? Bring the knight back. If d7, probably a6 will work. No, I'm Christian. Almost 95% Armenians are Christian. Let's go h3. This is hanging, but what if rook a1? Rook a1. If I sacrifice the bishop, I think I can take the rook. The only way I was afraid about that, just, you know, my knight should be trapped there. But because the file is protected, he can't just bring all that pieces to take the knight. So not a problem. Let's bring it back. Nice to meet you too, brother. Can I check? He's gonna take with a bishop, otherwise his bishop should be hang on d6. So I'm not gonna take some advantage. c4, c5, if I distract his bishop from d6, the knight should be hang. Other way, what should I play? Also the knight is overprotected if somehow that's need. Take the free pawn. Where is free pawn? Is there any or not? c7 was defended, that's only way I can attack, and f4, which is really difficult to take. That was not hanging. Yes, I'm down 2 pawns, so I'm going to try to take some pawns from his position, but even this c file is open, so I need to double my rooks. And c7 is protected from his bishop, which is doing really good protectively job, we can say it about attack, because kingside is closed and from queenside he can't do anything. Well, what can I play? f4 free pawn. f4 is defended from g5. That's why I can't take. I would like to bring the bishop back, but because that's defending, probably I can't even push my queenside pawns. Let's see. What if I attack on the rook? He's gonna lose a move because c6 won't work, and you need to see all that attacking moves before moving. Which I did now. And how can I make advantage? Okay, let's pressure, and his bishop just can't go anyway, you know? I'm forcing his bishop to be here all that time. What if here? Wow, yours VF hit 40. Maybe I'll bring lucky. Yes, for sure. I had one time when my followers was 120, but there was about one week ago. So I'm happy to see this. Let's have this white square. Also, if his king move on b8, that should be a mistake. But he isn't doing that. That's why you need to learn endgames, because From b8 you need to bring your king activity on the center because there are not much pieces left. And also from b8 it should be backleg checkmate threat anyway. And also a7 is hang and somehow he can't defend. You need to see all that weaknesses from his position. a7, how can he defend? His king is very far and also this square is defended. He can't defend with the rook and his bishop. Don't know what he's doing because only 2 squares he can go. If you're Indonesian, you could hit 300 view of bro. This game is so popular in my country. Oh, you're from Indonesia, okay? Very good country, but probably problem is the hours because I have very much followers from India. Because there is only 1 hour and 30 minutes difference from us. g5 will be hang if he not to take, but if he takes h6 and f4 pawn should be hang. So let's see how can I get some advantage here. My bishop is protected very well. Okay, let's take and have this h5. We can check and g5 should be hang. Who needs to defend that? That was a leg. Okay, not problem. Let's try to bring the rook. Barrier Ahberjan, Vonses. And I would like to go rook a1 because a7 would be undefended. I'm gonna take that. But I don't know, his rook is doing great job also about this pawn. I can't bring the king. Okay, now I can because that was under attack. If he defends the pawn rook g5 and that should be dead lost for me. And because I have opposite side bishops just... That's not easy from him to take a win from here. Abres Ahberjan, Yeselim love. And that's a little bit blocking position for me. If I try to move the king, just my bishop should be lost. And now I can bring the bishop on f1. Okay, I think I'm gonna lose that. He is not even taking the free bishop. But this is hang, I'm not gonna resign yet, or I need. Okay, I believe I should do that. Because from f1 he was trying to make a queen. If anyone wants to play, send me challenge. I'm not playing as opponent, just try to find the best moves in that position. And the best idea should be here to improve and bring all that pawns on the center. Also, I can say about the figures too, why not? And let's be sure you are not doing risk moves because when you start your game very risky and aggressive, there is very much chance you should lose. And I'm pressuring this diagonal because the knight was hanging, also h2 should be hang if that moves somehow. Even if it takes, I can check and after this b takes c6. f5, f4 really good move, that's a little bit aggressive. Because somehow if he moves d4, a3 should be hang. Barev Alekshan. How do I challenge my Akis Calvo 2443? Just write my username on chess.com. I wrote that on the chat and you will find me like that and send me challenge. His knight is under attack. I'm trying to take it because if not, there's just protecting very much in my position. Elian Srinivasan, if there should be any problem and you can't send me challenge, no problem, I will send you two. Try and say about me that. I would like to go f6 and a5. After this trade I would have really great center, and if not this trade, just anyway. My pieces are doing great job. My bishops are now is a little bit closed. I can't say that about white square bishop, but that's not doing anything great in my position. So I'm trying to open this. If I take, this won't be hang, okay? But a file should be open. If I go forward after this trade, rook g3 will be possible. So let's take also, bring the rook here, threaten something. And because my rook on a8 didn't do anything, just what if we can bring, if not a1, because that's defended. And so we can over defend with knight c3, knight d2 and so on. And bring the rook for that open file, because he don't need to hang anything here. Բարև Արմեն ջան, արխային ախպեր, պրոբլեմ չկա։ Եթե ուզում ես խաղաց challenge ուղարկի, вообще պրոբլեմ չկա։ I'm trying to go d4, but after knight a4, just I'm trying to kick him, to kick the knight from here, but I realized after f5, just g5 should be unprotected. That's why I went h6. Because I would like if his knight go, for example, a4, because I'm trying to bring my rook on second rank. I thought rook a1 should be possible, because what is this doing on f1? Can you understand that move or not? I will say I'm not. And even he can take the bishop, why not? Because after this middle game I can try to open this diagonal. Ախպերս, սա ինձ հետ ու էլ կեղնի։ Ինչ կա Ալեքս ջան, քեզանից ասա։ I'm gonna double my rooks and probably I will go rook a1. And also h3 is not defended, so what if he goes there and try to pressure my king side h6 or g7? That should be idea, but if he brings the knight, second rank should be mine. Rook a2, can he sacrifice the knight? I believe not, but I think I need to bring my bishop back, or I don't know, bishop c8. Because g7 is unprotected, he can sacrifice at any time. I'm not gonna try it and give him that nice diagonal, so let's bring another rook, because on f8 that isn't doing anything great. If I take, if he takes with the rook, because this center closed, just I can't bring my queen and bishop on that diagonal, which will be really helpful for me. But we will see. Ես իմ Արմեն ջան, սովորական էլի սենց ստրիմերով դու ասա մրցումները չես մասնակցում. From g7 he is trying to mate, but if I defend g7 from f6 he can go here and take the rook if I protect g7 from another piece. But the good thing is that his bishop is completely not doing anything. Just all my pawns are defending these diagonals from my king, which is really nice. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about, my pieces are closed even from that queen side attack on his king side. But anyway, let's bring the bishop back, and if it needs we can even trade, why not? Because from d7 that didn't do anything. And you need to trade his active pieces. He could also try some moves that I can't understand queen f3, because that's bringing his queen in a very bad square. So now I'm gonna check, and if rook defends, okay, I don't want to lose control from that diagonal here. Okay, I would like queen a3 now, that won't work. He's forcing me trade. Okay, let's get this. I'm a little bit, not a little bit, very much sure he's gonna do this. My bishop was doing great job, and also if he opened this diagonal, everything should be open from his position. And let's see, can I win or not? Is this okay from him? Because if queen f6 he can't take and this pawn should be under attack, but g4 that should be completely defended. Դե լավ է գնա մասնակցի ու կասես ինչ ես անում. Okay, now we are reach endgame and we need to bring the king's activity here. Okay, take this double pawn, that's don't need me. But actually I'm a little bit worried about that was fork, okay? And g6, probably g5. I will wait until bishop a3 and then g5. So protect h6. Well, really good. And what should I play? Probably g6, because if he moves c pawn forward, just c2 should be hang. If he takes c5 pawn, that's a little bit aggressive, but because I'm down 2 pawns, I can try to take a risk here. Okay, now 2 pawns are hang, but anyway, if he takes this pawn, his pawn on g4 should be hang. I would have passed pawn. And he isn't defending d4, so I'm gonna take this. See how hard the endgame is. This pawn is hang, and he can defend also. c4 should be hang. Okay, we can get some trade, but that's very hard to win when bishops are opposite. Another pawn is hang and a3 is a weak. So I can sacrifice my bishop for this g4 pawn, or if not, we will see. Հա դե ուժեղ կխաղան, եթե երկրորդ կարգես արդեն կամաց ուժեղանալու են խաղացողները հետի. Why not king c4? Here, so here I can push a8 is defended. I can even check and take this pawn which I missed. What should I play? Probably defend from my king. That should be drawn position. Just let's be sure we are not losing on time. The bishop is protecting g8 and king. This a pawn from queening. That's not a problem if I take that should be drawn position, because his bishop, if b light square bishop, that should be winning for him, but that should be a little bit even trickier than the other endgames. So I need to keep my king on that a8 and a7. Can I make a draw? I think that's a typical draw position. Let's see, can we or not? Only move and a8. Just I can't do it as pre-move. There is nothing I need to play. Well, that's for sure drawn position. He can even try to bring his king back and see probably if I gonna forward. Okay, now I can't, but anyway. Okay, that was drawn position. His time runs out, but anyway, that was a drawn. Is there any challenge or not? Still not. Let's play another game. I will wait for your challenges. If anyone wants to play, send me. What should we play here? C4, or that should be a little bit much? Anyway, let's bring the bishop on c4. I like bring my bishop c4 all the games. Okay, so 1 min. Rook a1 and so a5 should be just, I can push my pawn. I'm trying to do this, and if it's not take just a6, I am gonna take f7. If he not take, but if he takes anyway, his position should be very bad at the time because g6 should be undefended. That's why he went a6, which is really good move. I can't do anything here. I would like his pawn over on h5 or h7. So if I bring the knight, probably I can sacrifice Dinos on f7 because g6 and a6 should be very hard to defend. Queen g4, and what if I sacrifice this? Because his white square bishops, white squares pawns are very weak, I'm gonna try to take some advantage from here. My bishop is also under attack and he wants queen trade. I didn't realize he can take because, his king can't castle. That's not a very huge problem because queens are traded, but what if bishop f4, because I will attack on the knight. If I bring, for example, on a3, he would have tempo to defend this rook from d1. But no, he can't just... He needs to bring the knight back or f6. Somehow he will lose the move. Բայց զանից մրցումներ չկան, մեր մոտ եւի տարեկան երկու մրցում, որ անում են շատ լավ է։ Շատ քիչ են անում։ Rook d1, or can I kick the knight one more time, but knight f6 from f6, that should be a really great piece. I don't want to give him that advantage. Rook d1, that's not doing so much, but he can't move his kings so far. That's pinned, okay? And am I blundered or not? How can I get out from this? I can attack with one of my pieces, but how? Bishop d6. Okay, I think I'm in trouble or not. This pawn is hang. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I think I would have two pawns against the piece that he will take. But not a problem. If he takes the bishop, probably I can sacrifice the rook and g6 check, I will take the rook back. But that should be trade, and because I'm down a piece, I don't need to trade. Rook d6, if he defends, just he can. Knight back and d7 should be defended. What should we do? Դե գոնե մերն է անընդհատեղներ, թե չէ, ոչ կարում ենք խաղանք. Rook d6, okay? If he brings the knight, I will try to bring my knight. And try to pressure from c5. That should be a little bit hard for defend that. Let's sacrifice the knights and take the bishop. I believe if I take that, there is any piece should be hang. And he's blundering or not. Just I removed the defender from his light square bishop and take a figure from here. Really good, just I was down 2 pieces, okay? Because he took a piece from me and the one piece I sacrificed. But it's really cool position. My rooks are cut off from each other. And that seems knight before he's trying to go, but a3 I will kick one more time and bring my pawn slowly in that really good positions. So let's do that. Before c5. just pressure his king and probably rook f7 and double the rooks to attack on his 7th rank. That should be very hard for defend. Also, I mean, he can't defend it so much pieces, but anyway, I will force his rook to be on that b8 to guard this pawn on b7. And just I tricked him. His bishop is lost, and because I down 2 pieces, now I'm up 1 pawn. Just that was crazy. That's why I'm saying that you need activity more than pieces. He's blundering almost made. That's why you need to learn endgames, because in that, I will say, opening and middle game, he played perfect. But now see, he's blundering. h3, I would like to bring the knight, but knight d4, just rook d8 from here, he would try to mate, or even my knight should be under attack. That's why I was a little bit worried about. Or even I could play this because I'm taking with a check and then the knight. But anyway. And now I can even trade the rooks because I'm up 2 pawns, which I couldn't because, you know, I was down 2 pieces. Okay, anyway, let's trade and try to take this pawn on c6. That should be with a check. Rook f6, really good move. Just his king is cut off from that diagonal. So knight c2 if he's king a4. Because I'm trying to keep his king on that a file, which isn't doing anything great. How, what he can do from this? Okay, sorry, I need to off my voice sometime, and I think that's still okay. Is my voice okay or not? Now I'm gonna rook a3. If he takes, yes, he can probably. That's not some open check, and queen is defended, and I haven't any check from his king. So what if he cannot takes and even my rook is under attack? Chat, who wants to play Void Ludovo? He's also a good player. If anyone wants, say it to him. And now his queen is under attack, and because he was attacking on my knight, I am bringing the knight on safe square and also the rook. And this a7 is hang, bishop is hang, and so on. b5? No, I will take. d5 takes. What is he trying to do? Can I sacrifice the knight or not? Because if check, queen d7 check with a queen, that's open check. That's gonna be almost mate, you know. Because this dark square bishop is also protecting very much squares there. Okay, let's check. Or bishop a4 should be good move to defend this c6, but anyway. I'm up rook here. And that's equal position, okay? It took the knight the last time, but we can bring the rook. I'm a little bit worried about he's gonna take this. Please don't forget to subscribe. And if I take, he can somehow checks, which I don't like. So I'm gonna try to... what should I do? Probably take the knight, and probably d7 should be undefended. And what if I move here? He was timeout, but I believe he should be made after some moves. Վարդան Հարությունյան, ինչ աչես կոմետ անոնը, որ ասես քեզ գտնեմ կամ էլ դու ինձ ուղարկի challenge. Այսա. 2 hours 2 hours game is crazy, but we won't play 2 hours. That's classic game you need to play, but not in the streams. Then d5, okay? Let's 1 vs 1. I didn't play with... did I play with you or not? Oh, okay, sorry, I forgot I didn't play with you. Say your nickname, I will accept your challenge, okay? Just I have so much followers that wants to play with me. Yes, 2 hours is crazy, but anyway. We won't play 2 hours, we just finish opening on that 20 seconds, I will say. I can take... I'm trying to take the knight when that should be undefended. We won't play 4 hours, believe me. If he takes, the knight should be hang. Yes, he's doing really great job. He's taking the bishop and he can take, but just, you know, h2 is undefended. And if he takes even this pawn, another diagonal should be really great for my bishop. Or with my queen there is no much difference. King h1. Let's try to trade the bishops and then knight g4. From h2 I can try to mate him. Let's see if it's gonna work or not, and even at that time f2 should be hang. Knight g4. I have 2 threats. And anyway, let's see what will happen. He can't defend 2 of them, okay? And that's mate in 1. Wait, Ludovo, I am waiting for your challenge. Send me and let's play. If anyone wants to play, say me in the comments. We'll play after I will finish with him. Դու էլ ապրես Վարդան ջան, այս մի հատ է խաղամ, եթե կուզես մի հատ էլ կխաղանք։ Լավ պարտիա էր, ուղղակի Զևո կարեցի։ Հա, այդ ուժեղ էր։ Well, let's start to play and Sicilian defense, I think. Also d5 can happen, a6, d5, no much difference. Knight where? Knight d7? Okay, he's down a pawn, but because my pawns are double, I don't think I have really good position. Just, you know, he has very bad position, I will say, even after this straight. Anyway, just I don't understand why f4 and g3 to blunder the rook. Բայց ինչ է լավ է եղավ, բան չեմ կասեմ։ Հա, լավ խաղացիր, ուղղակի դրա համար վերջնախաղի է պետք սովորել էլի շատ։ Okay, let's bring the pieces and then I would like to bring my dark square bishop out and then castle also bring the rook. He's doing a great job. He saw my bishop was protected very well. Protecting very much squares there, that's why he tried to trade. But anyway, he's blundering this pawn on d3, but he's gonna make advantage from here, so he can blunder that pawn. Because he's down a rook. Can we check and mate? Well, that should be made. A really good game. Let's send him rematch. Play with him one more because we ended this game very early. Then I accepting, sorry. Okay, he's not here. Let's play another game. a4, okay, and we have Scandinavian defense. And c4 should be mistake because somehow d2 in middle game should be very hang pawn. Let's go d4, don't think to pick the knight. That should be hard position for me to play if I try to do something like that. I'm gonna castle rook a1 and we will see. c4 can happen. Because d4, how I said, that should be undefended, but even now I can go d5. Let's see if it gonna work or not. No, not, but what if I remove the defender from d5? I was going to rematch. I sent you rematch, but that seems you didn't accept. When I am finishing the game, I am waiting to see is my opponent gonna play rematch or not. But no problem. I will play a rematch with you. Well, his queen is under attack, queen d6, because if he takes with a pawn, his bishop should be lost. And now he's tricking me. If I take one of these pawns, queen d3 should be undefended. Let's take the pawn, and now he can't take. His knight should be hang. But if he not take, just he should be down a pawn. His bishop probably should be under attack, but if he takes with the rook, that's won't be easy to take from here. Let's take because that's with a check and queen a3 probably. Or even this trade can happen. Queen d7 and what can we play? Ela Akhberjan. Love us. Rook b1 and try to pressure b7. Okay, not a problem. We have activity here. And knight a5 also can happen. f1 is guarded, so what if rook f1? I will lose mate here. But rook a7, I believe that should work, and even that should be really great from me. Just because he's defending with 3 pieces, now I can't. Ապրես ախպերս, լավ որ եմ քեզ մաղթեմ. This pawn is hang. But after this trade he should mate. What if I attack the bishop first and then... Or I need to overpressure f1 because if I take the pawn just he can mate, okay? What is this? Can this happen or not? Ապրես ախպերս. Rook f1. If I take, should I get mate or not? I think yes. If I take, queen trade, I should be up exchange there. His rook is under attack. I'm taking and so much pressure in his position. His position is playable because he has 2 pawns and the bishop against my rook. Let's see, can I win this endgame or not? I'm trying to trick him. Let's see if it gonna work or not. If he plays, for example, c5 and so on, he should gate mate, but anyway, from a8, that's another mate threat. If it's even not won't work, just rook a8. Let's bring the another rook on that forward for that move. For that pawn, sorry. I believe c6 is gonna drop. Let's attack from a6 because... Okay, his rook can defend anyway. I thought because d6 was guarding from me, he can't, but anyway, he could. I'm gonna take this pawn. Because if he takes, I should be up a pawn. He saw that. I think I can make a draw, and that's not completely winning from me or losing. So let's wait what will happen here. He can't move progress. And I believe if I try somehow just on king side, because his queen side is very well protected, I will blunder from this pawn from queening, okay? Probably. So let's keep the pawns here and don't let them to go forward. b5, just bishop should be lost, and a4, that pawn should be lost. Probably a rook b4 and pawn push, but in white square that should be a little bit hard for defend from him. That's why I'm trying to bring the king. Okay, now I can't move that. What if I sacrifice the rook, but c5 can just protective from him, okay? And he's trying to take the pawn. I think he's gonna up a pawn here too. But I would try to bring the rook, but somehow I can't. I believe that should be drawn. If he bring his rook, I don't know, something here, I would like rook g1, but because that's defended, let's bring on g2. g2 and g6 he can't defend somehow. His bishop for sure can't, and his rook also. So even mate threat actually can happen. Ah, okay, you see? Very clever move from him. Rook c8, just bishop d3, bishop a3 will guard everything. We don't need to rush, let's just defend this. We should not have played g4. Yes, I missed that rook before attacking all that pawns on my side. Not a problem. I think I can keep this position. But thank you for saying that. How can he make progress? Rook b2. Yes, that's why we need to go rook a2. Because that pawn should be defended from moving forward. And because these white squares are defended, that shouldn't be easy for him to make a progress. What if his pawn beyond b3? Not sure. Just a3 is very well defended. Also b3 is defending that. Can I bring the king or not? Okay, let's resign this because my king was too far from that pawns. And he's up a tempo. Emperor Elite, if you want to play, send me challenge. Your elo should be heightened from that speed. You can understand what I need to play. Not everyone would see that. Bishop a6, I'm trying to break this center. I can make advantage, you know. And his d2 pawn will be just isolated. It shouldn't be really strong there. Even d3 or not. His king can't castle, but queenside trade did not much problem in his position. f2 is hang, and now I am gonna castle. I'm forcing him moves, you see. If I take, knight g4 can happen. Even without take, but I will lose a pawn for sure. I don't need to do this. He's trying to take the bishop, but in endgames bishops are really good. Also my pawn should be very weak on e6. I don't need to take, let's wait until he will take and the file should be defended from me. This or not? Now what should I play? Let's go back, and from g7 this is a threat. If he takes the bishop, just rook g3, and how we can defend that? That won't be so easy. He's trying to trade the queens. Not problem, let's not trade. Bishop back also can happen. I'm sacrificing this. From g7 will be made. So that's I'm trying to do. If he checks, I can take and queen g1. Okay, that's just a trade, but after this, because my bishop was hanged, I'm gonna lose the bishop there. Very bad. Not a problem, I am waiting for your challenge. If anyone wants to play, send me. Okay, we have Caro-Kann defense. We are going to play Alien Gambit. Okay, knight g5, c5 is a really great move, which I can't say about h6. That's main line, but actually that move they're just losing a move. But also g5 is over defended. That just one pawn is doing a great job there. But that's one defend these very weak white squares in his position. What if I take? Let's go rook a1 and defend a5. His queen is almost trapped, you see. h5 and a5 only moves that he can play, but still knight a5 won't work. I would like to check and take his queen. That should be really great pin. No, that won't work. What should I play? I'm not sure. Okay, how can I just kick his queen? Or bring one more protector for the g6. I would like to protect this one more time. Okay, let's not fix about that. Let's bring the bishop out. He's protecting very well. Suggests Alien Gambit, and he played 2 or 3 moves with his queen, and just some moves that didn't need him. But anyway, because his queen is active, that's a little bit hard to do something here. Just the good way to protect Alien Gambit, bring king safety on that king side. But anyway, he's doing a great job to bring the queen, because that's that's a position where I can't just make some advantage. I mean, I can, but that should be a little bit hard. Let's go c5. I would like to kick bishop back and check from c6, c4. Okay, that's traded. Check. Trade. His bishop should be lost, but that should be trade. What if c5 and bring the queen? Okay, h2 is hang. Why you didn't say it to me? That to me. g3. g3, I'm defending the bishop from h2, but bishop h3 even can work, or even probably I missed f4, because at that time I need to bring my bishop back to defend g2, because somehow queen f3, and he will try to mate from g2. I believe that won't work, but he will try to have some threats in my position, which I don't like. I can even go f4, how I said, kick his bishop back, c5 one more time, if not bishop c7. I can't understand this move, why he played that. There's just losing a move for him, or he's trying to bring the queen. Because the queen was defending bishop, he went back, and guaranteeing that in his next move he's gonna move the queen if I not make anything in his position. Make any trouble, okay? But first let's attack on his rook and also, try to kick it back. Or even it can go a8, not a problem. What if I check? And after this trade his rook will be guarded from the knight, and if it wasn't just, I will take exchange from here. What should we play? If I takes, okay, if it takes we take queen at the time, I could pin this, and I'm trying to take the knight. Please don't move your light square bishop or the queen, because if I take the knights, that should be pin his king, front defend is g6. But his king in the trouble. What are you thinking about this? Because rook a7 just, I don't promise I will take this dark square bishop because that's protected, but even he will have really good weak position. I sacrificed this, let's remember you, that was alien gambit. I'm down a piece, but see his position. Our pieces, his pieces and mine are very good, but his bishops aren't doing anything great. Now I can't bring the rook because d6 is protected. What if c5? That will block my bishop, but anyway. Bishop c3 even can do great job. Also attack on g7 and some moves, and how I said, the rook like got hunches. And he even took that, you see? What should I do? Okay, I'm gonna take his queen and GG. Very well played. Subscribe my channel. I waited for this really crazy game where I sacrificed the rook. Well, if anyone wants to play, follow me, and in next stream I will play with you all who wants. So goodbye, have a good day.